Welcome back to the Isabel and Jeremy show. We've got episode 2 for you today. What are we talking about, Isabel?
OnlyFans.
Now, before we get into it, if you're new here, thanks for checking us out. Make sure if you like this, you subscribe. There's going to be lots of cool, juicy topics. And if you are already subscribed and you're coming back for episode 2, thank you. So, OnlyFans, huh?
Well, why don't we begin with how we got started?
Okay, cool. Well, you can take that away because you got started before me, I think. So
yeah, I did.
Go for it.
So I started OnlyFans January 2020, before kind of COVID hit and everything, because I was working a full-time job, which I hated. So I was kind of looking for a way out. So I started that, but I also started doing live webcams at the same time, which a lot of people don't know. That's news to a lot of people.
What did you hate about working the job, and what job was it? And then what appealed so much about camming and OnlyFans?
I don't think it really matters so much what job it was, but it was a 9-to-5. I had to apply for annual leave. I was getting minimum wage. Mind you, I was only in that job for 6 months. By the time I left, I knew very quickly that kind of 9-to-5 hustle and applying for time off and answering to someone else, that wasn't for me. So yeah, that kind of pushed me to make my own way.
And? So
yeah, I started January. So I started
2020,
doing OnlyFans and the cam modeling. For a long time, the cam modeling was actually more lucrative than OnlyFans. But
so what's cam modeling for people that maybe are wondering?
Live webcams, live porn, basically. It's like a chat room. It's just it's constantly streamed, so you're chatting with people and they're tipping you to do certain things, and yeah, it's interesting career. So those two income sources combined allowed me to leave my 9-to-5 at the end of March. So from January to the start of April, I transitioned from working for someone else
side
to
hustle.
Working for myself full time. And then I think we started the couples page,
Couples OnlyFans page.
The couples OnlyFans page, maybe mid-year, but we never really
It was a bit
did
before
much
that.
with it.
From memory, it was April, but we just didn't really touch it.
Yeah, we didn't touch it. COVID happened, a whole lot of, the world changed. It was very different. And we ended up moving to Queensland from Melbourne in June. And I contribute me working for myself to that a lot, because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to. I was tied down to a job. And then fast forward a couple of months of living in Queensland, I started to take OnlyFans a little bit more seriously. I looked into a few avenues of growing my name and getting my name out there, and I had to have a chat with Jeremy.
Were you invested at this stage, were you?
I was invested.
Was I?
But you weren't. And I said to you, I need 110% commitment from you, because we could go big. There is potential to go big and people will find out. So you're going to have to be okay with that. So since we had the chat and he was on board fully.
Which was November.
It was November. We...
Until then, we were doing...
We multiplied our income, tenfold?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yep, tenfold.
In a month. It was crazy.
Yep.
So why wasn't I in?
Well, you had your own business. You're a personal trainer, nutritionist, and have been for, 9 years?
8 years. Yeah, 8 years.
And you were very much worried about your reputation.
Well, I worked with a local allied health clinic.
Yes.
I was like, am I going to be looked at as that sleazy personal trainer that's like, you've got a client doing squats and you're behind and you're like grinding your gear up against their gear. And then it was also family, and then the biggest thing in my head was your dad, which ended up being, that was always my biggest consideration.
That's a whole nother story.
That is a whole nother story. So what really appealed about, I guess, working for yourself?
Well, before I worked the 9-to-5 job, I was working for the family business for 10 years. So there was a lot of flexibility in that. I could go on holiday when I wanted, like my father would take me on holiday with him. I didn't have to apply for annual leave. I got very good pay. There was just a whole lot more flexibility than working 9-to-5 for a business. And I got used to that for so long. And as soon as I went into a normal workplace, I was like, this is fucked. People do this for the rest of their lives. Like, how is this okay? How do they live with that? There's so much more to do with life. Like, sitting at a desk 9-to-5, 5 days a week for the rest of your life, that's not living.
No. Something you just made a point that I love is I got paid very well, or the pay was really good. That's, I think, the biggest thing with any time. Like, I've worked for myself for 8 years, so it's like I control what I get paid.
Yes.
And now you control what you get paid, or we now control what we get paid in a few couple of our businesses. When I think in Australia, the average income's around 75 grand. I think when people start to tick 100 grand, they're like, wow, that's incredible. But how hard are you working for that 100 grand?
Yeah.
How much time does that leave you to spend your time doing the things you love? And that's why we're going to delve into this a little bit more today. And you can take a lot of this information that we're going to put out there and utilize it to maybe overcome some obstacles and some hurdles that you've probably seen in your way to start maybe an OnlyFans, but any business that you've really dreamed about, and take some time back for you and start working for you and build your dreams and not someone else's. It's good to work in a normal job because you learn valuable skills, but I think at the end of the day, you've got to have something else if you're only earning the average wage of 75 grand. If you've got a family, that ain't going to do much at all, unfortunately.
That's not going to give you a lot of opportunity in life to do what you want to do.
Nah. And the other thing that I hate is, and this happened in our family recently, not saying this directly happened, but people like seem to plan for like their parents passing.
Their inheritance.
They'll get their inheritance. Fuck that. It's not your money anyway. So just why don't you work a little bit harder and sacrifice for a few years, and then
or work smarter. Not necessarily harder, because there's very few businesses that the amount of effort you put in directly attributes to the result.
Yep.
Unless you're working for yourself, like we are.
Yep. But
the amount of effort doesn't necessarily go, like, it's not rewarded a lot of the time.
But that's also the thing. When you're young, you should have the most energy you've ever got, the most time, the least commitments. It's like, work a little bit harder. Let's say you work 40 hours for someone. Why not work 40 hours for yourself and then maybe even go 80 and then let your youth be a compound effect? So obviously with wealth and people investing, compounding is everything. Get started soon. So that's what we're going to talk a lot about today, is like the opportunities. Like, we've got so many opportunities now, to really create something pretty cool.
Well, think about the first opportunity it gave us. It gave us the opportunity to move from Melbourne to Queensland, which you'd been bugging me for years. And I was always tied down to working for the family business.
To a job.
And you were always tied down to the gym. But I was no longer working for anyone else. And you were no longer tied down to a gym because they're all closed because of COVID. So really, the opportunity arose and we were able to take it because I was no longer tied down to someone else.
To a job. Because a job, just remember, it's an acronym for just over broke. It's true, yeah? It is. So what else do you want to talk about? Let's really, I guess, use this time to start helping our audience with we're going to debunk some stigmas.
I think we are, and I really want to change people's point of view about OnlyFans, because a lot of people...
Well, I don't think you're trying to change their point of view. You're just trying to give them another side of the story that they maybe haven't considered or a lot of people didn't know. True?
But I think they're not very open-minded. I think as soon as they hear OnlyFans, they just they're not really open to understanding it or hearing more about it.
Especially if they're not working in it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. I'm excited. You guys excited? So yeah, right, let's go. Talk. Enlighten us.
I think I'm going to start with we saw this on social media the other day. Someone that we follow posted it on their story, and it was a little picture of a freeway, and going straight was a real fucking job, and then there was an exit saying OnlyFans, and you see the car in the picture doing a very quick swerve to take the exit of OnlyFans rather than heading straight to a real fucking job. And I feel like a lot of people have that point of view, and it's so wrong.
It's not, but you know what? OnlyFans is not a real fucking job.
No,
because you control what you earn, you can control your hours.
I'm going to disagree.
I'm saying
it's
it is.
as much of a job as you treat it like a job.
Yeah, but I think of a job as 9 to 5, grind, get told what you earn, get told when you're meant to take holidays, and you get your 4 weeks a year, and sometimes you can't take those 4 weeks when you want.
Is your PT business a job?
No.
Then what is it?
Fun. No, it's a business. At the end of the day, it's a business. Job. I see a job as something that you I have a resume for.
I like that. It's not a job, it's a business, which is correct. And I would much rather be working in a business than in a job.
Why?
Freedom.
Yeah, it is.
Control.
It is. Ooh, control. It is, definitely. I think the other side of that coin, though, is obviously there's pros and cons with everything.
Absolutely.
Can you switch off in early days if you don't have people running things for you?
No, but that's what I said before. Your effort directly determines your result.
Yep.
So that's up to you.
Yep. Any business.
Thousands
of PTs, but sweet F all.
But not in a job.
They last 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Really 5 minutes. They last I think the average duration of a PT is less than 12 months. I think it's 3. Because they love training themselves, and they get in and they think that it's easy, and then you got the training part's the easy part. It's you find the clients, and that's any business that you're starting. OnlyFans is the same thing. It's not that hard to get content. It really isn't. There's parts of that are hard, but the hardest thing is then how do I get customers? That's any business. How the hell do I get a customer?
That's exactly what I said to you when I first started OnlyFans over 12 months ago. Well, what is it, 14 months ago?
Yeah.
I said, I don't need any help with my content. I don't need that side of it. For me, piss easy. I don't need help with that. The problem is getting the numbers. To make it beneficial, you need the numbers. And that's the hard part.
Yep.
How are you supposed to market yourself?
So I guess this is the part of OnlyFans now that people are saying, and there's a stigma.
What they're saying.
Well, there's a stigma that OnlyFans isn't a real job, but let's just debunk. Let's just give clear facts. Why is it a job or a business? Whatever everyone's got a different opinion on what a job is and what a business is and how they label things. But let's just go clear facts. Why is it a successful business?
Go ahead.
Well, one is income high, depending on how hard you work. Expenses, pretty much zero.
Minimal.
You need a phone. We've all got one anyway. You need internet. We've all got it anyway. You need content and a body.
You don't even need a camera if you
don't even need a camera.
Phone.
We use our phone. So rule one, or I guess point one, why it's a business is because it makes money. A business that makes money is obviously something that is
It's a legitimate business.
Yeah. So number 2, I guess, is if you want to be successful in anything, a tennis player, to get into the top 1,000, you're putting time in. It's the same in this business or any business. To do well means you've got to work. So you've got to treat it like any other business where you need to market, and you need to know your audience that you're marketing to. You need to constantly be ahead of, I guess, not even your competition, but just constantly be evaluating what's going on and then evolving and continually developing. In any business, like paper drops, like letter drops years ago, super successful. Would you do them now? Maybe, depending on your clientele. If they're 80, then you might. But if they're young and youthful, and let's be honest now, most 50, 60, 70-year-olds are on Facebook. So there's that part of constantly evaluating and evolving and kind of keeping up and staying on top of how to capture your audience and to then also keep your customers.
Constantly innovating.
Always.
I've always said with this business, it's trial and error.
Yep.
You just have to keep changing things, keep seeing what works or doesn't work.
And
what
that's
works for us might not work for the person next door.
And we get that question all the time, and this is any business. For Bob, who runs the mechanic down the road, what he does for Trevor, who runs the mechanic only 3 kilometers down, could be completely different. Completely different. And that's like, for us, you've got to fail, but you just fail forward. How many times we've effed up things has been the best thing ever, because you're like, okay, that didn't work.
You learn from it.
And then the next time you do it, you're like, oh, that didn't work either, but let's try something else. And then the next thing absolutely smashes it. So there's so many reasons why it's, I guess, a legitimate business or a legitimate job. What are your thoughts on it? Because I know you're really passionate about this.
I am, because so many people have opinions on it. I think the biggest opinion that gets to me is that it's easy. A lot of people are like, oh, well, why don't I start an OnlyFans? If they're doing so well, maybe I'll start one and I'll make that much money. It doesn't work like that.
Not at all.
I think the best way that I can kind of explain it in layman's terms is, I mean, I know you likened it to network marketing for a different reason, but I think network marketing, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's one of the only businesses where the harder you work, the more money you make, and there's a select few people at the top of that kind of, not industry, but group of people. And a lot of people see those top few and go, oh, well, I'm going to join and I'm going to be one of those top few. But a couple of months down the track, they figure out it's not that easy. It's the same situation with OnlyFans, but it's just this whole stigma around OnlyFans that everyone's like, oh, well, I can take booty pics and make hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. You might be the 1% of people that actually do succeed in
and
doing
you might
that.
be one of the most banging hot people in the world, but how do you show people that? You've got to then get out to thousands of people, because if you're going to make hundreds of thousands of dollars, you need hundreds of thousands of people buying you and subscribing.
The booty pics.
Hell no.
It's the networking. It's the communicating with your fans. It's the trial and error, different sales tactics, different content styles. It's everything. There's so much that goes in behind the scenes of creating an OnlyFans account, and a successful OnlyFans account.
Yep. Can we jump to something now with that interests the hell out of me and excites the hell out of me?
Oh God, what is it?
And it's, if you've got a side hustle or you've got a full-time business, as we do with OnlyFans, it's our full-time business at the moment that we put all of our effort into, because, as I said, how much our expenses are down here and our income is up here, which is great, which means that the gap is big, so that our profit is high, which is always the key in business. If you're making profits, you're doing well, and if your expenses are lower than your profits, then you're in profit.
Right. So it depends how much money you're making. You'll probably want to bring your expenses up to
Yeah.
Reduce your tax.
Oh, this is not an accounting 101. So I think the biggest thing is with this business and any business, let's use a job, and we're going to go someone who's paid 100 grand and they're going to work, say, from my age, just over 30 to 60. So in 30 years, they're going to make $3 million. Okay, let's call it gross, whatever. Doesn't really matter. This is not accounting 101. If someone's thinking about getting into OnlyFans and thinking about longevity, let's say you've got a good couple of years up your sleeve to really smash it. Generally, because if you want to go back into a normal job and you do a job like OnlyFans or open a business like OnlyFans, are you going to make $3 million in that 2 or 3 years? Because you want to. Obviously, if you're making $3 million in 3 years with OnlyFans compared to $3 million with being a doctor in 30 years, then I think you can do quite well if you invest your money wisely because of the compounding effect. Now, we're not talking about investing or anything, but that's what you've got to think about is the effects of what you can do, the positives as well. Like if I can earn huge income, then maybe this is a good decision. If you've never wanted to work for someone else, I never did. I did for a few years, and then I realized that I never want to again. And I've jumped in the family business for 3 months, and I was like, oh my God, I can't do this. Like I was never there. I'd always have an excuse why I wasn't there. So you've got to think of the positives.
Definitely.
And then you've got to think of the negatives too.
I like what you said about jumping into the job and then realizing 3 months down the track that it wasn't for you. You can't do that with OnlyFans.
No.
You need to figure out before you even start if it's really for you, because it's a lifelong commitment.
Oh yeah.
Like you can never go back from once you start an OnlyFans.
Well, you can to working for yourself.
It's not like, oh, I'm going to start a job at Macca's and then a week in you're like, this isn't for me. Like you can't really recover from it.
No.
So you have to make the commitment. And I've said this to a lot of people because they come to us asking if they should start an OnlyFans and how they can be successful and how they go about starting it. And I said, look, I'm not going to tell you to start one until you are 110% committed, because otherwise it's just not worth it.
And how many people have you spoken to so far that are 100, like even close to that?
No, that everyone's so on the fence.
Yeah.
You can't be.
Yeah.
You have to be all in.
And we've got a few people that we work with that are big and they're committed and they treat it as a business. But I think that's the unfortunate thing. Most people who start a business never end up treating it as a business, like customer service, being super customer orientated. What does my customer want? And to stay ahead, how am I outworking my competition? If like we've got a local guy who does our car washing, fucking incredible, unbelievable. Like his attention to detail, he's called diamond detailing, and we all know what a diamond is. His attention to detail is crazy. He's beating his customers because like I've never seen service like it. So with this business, you have to do the same thing,
Yep.
You have to constantly make sure
you can't
that
dabble
you're improving.
In it. This is not a business that you can dabble in.
No business you can dabble in. You can, but it determines how much of this can.
A job you can. But this...
even a job.
I'm saying because it's controversial and it has that stigma around it. If you decide to do this for a couple of months and go pretty hardcore with it the way that we do, and then decide it's not for you and try get a normal job again, most likely you're not going to be able to get one, especially if you're a nurse or a teacher or anything like that. They will not employ you after you've gone down the route of OnlyFans.
Yep. Well, you know that better than anyone, don't you?
You need to think about that before you start it.
Yep.
It'll close a lot of doors for you. But you know what? If you do it the right way, you'll have enough money to hire a fucking wrecking ball and just knock the walls down.
Yeah. And it opens a lot. It does. It does. Like for Isabel, it's closed down a door with a relationship with her dad. It's opened up a door with a legal battle with your dad and all of these other issues. But the doors that it's opened for you, like, look where you live.
Yeah. It's not the conventional route that people take in life.
Yeah. But like each day now, can you wake up when you want? Do you guys want to do that?
We can go on holiday and claim it as a work trip. We can
We're not telling, and we're not saying this to like, oh, our life is phenomenal, and like maybe yours isn't where ours currently is.
This is for the people that are thinking about starting an OnlyFans.
Or
we're giving the cons and we're giving the pros, and you need to make your own decision about it.
But also, I want you guys to relate to this and take this in any direction you want, because you're going to have ideas to start a business. And as I said before, it might not be an OnlyFans, and so many people are going to have a stigma on it, or they're going to have an opinion, and you just got to go fuck that and commit. There's going to be so many pros and there's going to be so many cons, but just write them down and fucking listen to yourself.
Keep reminding yourself why you decided to do this. And I think also the reason why we're discussing so much of this in depth is we're trying to get people to see and understand the legitimacy of this as a business, and not disregard the amount of effort it takes to be successful in this business. Because a lot of people do.
I find the content part hard. We should talk about
that's a lot of effort.
That's actually, if you've got a detailing business, let's just use that again down the road, how are you going to market it really well? You've got to get good photos, probably good videos, so you can do reels and utilize social media to its advantage.
Well, think about it. If you have a 4K video showing the shine that you were able to get on an old dodgy car that's beaten up versus like blurry video, are you able to see the quality of your work? No. You have to you have to pay attention to the quality of your content.
Yep, you do. You know what I'm thinking of when you said that, Jack. GC, if you're on the Gold Coast, Jack from GC Diamond Detailing, holy schmackerel, shiny.
He has really high standards when it comes to cleaning too. So just say that.
Yeah, it is unbelievable. Good. Never found anything like it. So with our business, the struggle for content.
Yes. Well, I mean, it's...
Lighting.
Okay, let's get down to it. It's sex.
So I've got to have a stiffy.
It's sex. So if you're not well, not going to happen. If your mental health isn't well, it's not going to happen. Like, there's so many variables, factors that allow you to create content.
Yeah. And there's the things that you're out of control of. Getting a stiffy, coming, staying with us, like maintaining a stiffy. The girl, yes, maybe not attracted, looks like it's not authentic.
They
and
may
fake
not be
content.
on contraception that allows them to skip their period. They may get their period. They may, like, either of us could catch an STI. Like, it's...
And this is any business. Gold Coast Diamond Detailing, it's raining outside. If they're washing a car, there's a problem. How can they wash a car? But also then people don't want to wash their car because it's going to get wet and dirty anyway. So there's always, in any business, there's these kind of little hurdles that you can't control, but it's how the fuck do you adapt and overcome and evolve and get better rather than, and I said this on a little story on my Instagram the other day, it's what's the difference between someone extraordinary and someone ordinary. And it's that extraordinary people focus on their business or in their lives of what they can control rather than worrying about what they can't control, which is generally the problem. They're always solution focused. So with this business and any business, the same thing. So what do? Can't get a stiffy? Pump a Viagra. Or learn to get more comfortable, There's get a better angle so that if it ain't working, they're not seeing that it's a little sloppy salami. Yeah.
Yep.
So there's obviously, that's a massive challenge in this business, and I still think that's one of the easiest things in comparison to marketing and gaining numbers, maintaining numbers, and then continually
and streamlining the business and making it user friendly.
Yeah, we've had some really interesting discussions. Like, this business, I think, is fucking simple as shit.
It is. It definitely is.
The back end of it, but we've had so many discussions with other creators of Oh, we need to check our camera, don't we? Make sure that our
We'll be
camera's
back
still
in
rolling.
1 second.
Stay tuned.
All right,
Sorry about that. We're back. We were just checking our camera. We don't want you to lose Isabel's pretty face. So where we were just at was talking about user friendliness
And
with the back
streamlining
end.
the business.
So what I've noticed with it is that we've got to streamline it for ourselves so that it's time efficient for us. So we can get things done quickly. That was a funny discussion we had this week, with a couple of creators of not knowing the back end of the business at all, and making it easy for us as the business owner. But then also as the customer, making it easy for the customer when they're trying to make a purchase and see what content is available. That's with anything. If you want to be successful in any business or in any part of your life, clarity is key. People need to be able to go somewhere and know exactly what they're getting. You buy an iPhone because you know exactly what the fuck it does. It's simple as shit. Or most people. There is some Android users out there. That's definitely not me. But go. I can tell you want to say something bad.
Well, this is why we're also releasing a coaching course on OnlyFans, because it's basically going to be like OnlyFans for dummies.
Oof.
Because you need to treat it like that. You're going to send something out. You're going to say exactly what it is, exactly how long it is, whatever. You're going to simplify the shit out of it, and you're still going to have someone come back to you and say, so blah, blah, blah. And you're like, I said that like one message above, can just right there.
Yep.
But instead of getting frustrated because it keeps happening, just change your approach. Simplify it even more and eliminate the questions.
Yep. Some of the things we see too with what now we're seeing business-wise is such simple things other people are overlooking. And we always do that.
It's simple for us.
It is.
But then, I mean, we buy a lot of OnlyFans pages. It's
market research. Yep.
We need to see what other people in our industry are doing, seeing what they're doing right, seeing what they're doing wrong. And majority of the time, it's more so of the latter.
And I would have bought far out over 300 pages in the last 3 months.
There's so many ways that these businesses could be simplifying
That's
it for
a little
themselves
expense of ours.
and for their customers, and they're just not doing it.
Yep, they're not.
So that's why we're bringing out our coaching course, because some of the things that people could be implementing into their business would help grow their business dramatically.
Do you know what? This is
it doesn't take long.
Nah. This is the most simple and exciting part for me too, because in my fitness business, what I've done for 8 years is taught people who have no fucking idea how to exercise and given them all of my knowledge and taught them how to exercise and eat well to get a really good result. Same in your business. You've got to have someone to mentor you and better you. Like I have my own coach still in the gym to get better. And that's what you have to do in any business. Yeah, it's like...
And I think this exact same with a personal trainer or a business mentor. You have to employ someone that you aspire to be like. If you get a coach for, let's just keep it in the OnlyFans little framework. A coach for OnlyFans, are they in the top 0.1%? Are they making $100K a month? Do they have over 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 fans? If they don't, and that's where you aspire to be, why on earth would you hire them as a coach?
Did we not sit down with someone recently who was broke for an hour and a half and teach them and this was legit, we're talking OnlyFans now, we got a creator on and we taught them how to advertise off socials completely. And they were legit broke because they were a performer. And COVID hit, so obviously that made it hard. First month in, she made like close to $20,000. $20,000 times 12 months, that's her first month too. Like, there's definitely going to be compounding if she keeps working at it hard, which she obviously, it was very clear that she did. And she hadn't worked in this industry at all. That's 250 grand a year. Crazy.
And that's purely because we've been doing it, or I've been doing it for over 14 months. We've made mistakes. We've seen what works and what didn't work. We've been able to streamline everything and hand over that knowledge to people who are just starting so that they don't have to take 14 months to figure it out for themselves. They can go straight in. Depending on how much work they put in, they can be successful.
Mm-hmm. So what's your advice for your viewers right now? In regards to what we're just talking about.
Advice for what?
Getting better.
Getting better in what?
Their business. This business of OnlyFans or any business.
Effort equals result.
Yep. But also,
versatility
you can put all that
equals longevity.
Ooh.
I said that funny. You can't just stay the same. You can't be stagnant. In any business that you have control over, take control, make adjustments, and put the effort in to make it work the way that you want it to work.
Be consistent.
A boat's not going to row itself.
No.
But you know what? Maybe buy a motor and put it on and you can be 10 times faster.
Oh, that's a good one. Oh, she nailed that. So
I came up with that all by myself.
So the last thing is consistency, obviously, is key, but get a fucking coach. If you're running a business, get a coach.
Outsource.
We were with someone who was
smart.
We were getting someone to do pressure cleaning at our house the other day, and he's related. There's a relation to a guy who's in the fitness industry, my industry. He is pumping $30,000 or there close to into his business on marketing a month. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So get to a point, obviously, where you've got a good profit by working your ass off, being consistent, and trying to learn it all yourself, and then pay people to make it fucking better. Yep. Yeah. Like we have now, obviously, spent money.
Even if you go to the pressure washing thing, how many hours a day did it take you to pressure wash the entire house? And you did that all the time.
10 hours.
How many hours? 10 hours. How many hours did it take that guy to pressure wash our house?
Like 4, but that was like he did the whole house. It was 10 hours a day, like for 4 days.
Did you pay him to pressure wash the house?
Oh, it was a good deal. Less than like $300.
$300. If you were working your ass off in your own business for 10 hours, how much could you make?
Oh, fuck.
So why on earth would you waste your valuable time doing a job that you could pay someone else for and they specialize in?
Say that again. That's a good point. Say that again.
What?
What is it? Yeah, out-fucking-source.
Outsource. Be fucking smart with your time and your money.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
If you need something done, go get someone to do it. Unless they can't do it. As long as it's something that you have to do. We can't pay someone to be on camera and make our content. Doesn't work like that.
You're dropping bombs right now.
But if we need a personal assistant to handle the back end and what's the word I'm looking for?
Streamline.
No, research other business opportunities that we've been wanting to get into for a while. We just haven't had the time. So we get someone to do all those little jobs for us that have been put on the back burner while we focus on the things that only we can do.
Yep.
Be smart with your time and your money.
Yep. Absolutely. It's such a...
I rattled you.
No, you did. So I want you to take some of these bombs that she's dropping at the moment, and I've been so aware that I want you to not just take this as OnlyFans business
this applies
talk
to anything.
Right now. This applies to anything. And Isabel's very humble and doesn't like to say, but she worked in the family construction business in high-end property development for over 10 years, yeah? Mm-hmm. So she understands when you're delivering a $5 or $10 million property, the details.
There's a certain standard of business, and I'm used to that standard of business.
Yep.
So things need to be run well, and they need to be streamlined, and you shouldn't be wasting your time and your money.
Yep, correct. Because if you do, let's say you're wasting your time and money on a big development, in a month you can be losing $500,000 easily. And you've seen it happen.
But it's all relative. Even a small business, it couldn't be like, it may not be $500,000 fucking dollars. It could be $500, but that accumulates. If you're losing $500 a month for your entire like business career, that's a lot of fucking money.
It is. Far out. Oh. Wait, can we do a water swap? I ran out of water.
I'm talking more than you. That's why.
Yeah, you are. You're doing well. You're doing really well, Isabel.
Because my name's first.
Words of affirmation. Just touching your love tank. When are we going to talk about love tanks? That's not today, is it?
I don't know. Next week I was either thinking about the episode being on living a life filter free, because I'm very passionate about that, or about relationships.
Oh. But we do have a friend staying with us, and we're going to try and get that, but that'll drop the following week, won't it?
Yeah.
Oh, you're holding my hand.
Yeah.
Also, this is now about love. So is there anything more you want to talk about? OnlyFans business, porn star stigmas, adult worker stigmas? Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's massive stigma around OnlyFans creators and porn stars. They're below
You're scum.
average. We're the scum of society. We're dirty. We're trashy.
Are you trying to change that stigma massively?
Who's to say that a porn star and OnlyFans creator can't be elegant? They can't be classy. They can't be a legitimate businesswoman or a businessman.
We just did a collab with someone. My mate who runs a podcast, Frankie.
It is. We're collaborating with other businesses. Mm-hmm. It's just like on Instagram and social media or any other business. An influencer will collaborate with, for instance, a makeup brand. It's a collaboration between the two brands. The brand of the influencer and the brand of the makeup.
Who are you yelling at?
I'm not yelling.
Is that passion?
Am I yelling?
Is it passion?
But we are our brand.
We are.
And you have to treat it like that. And then whoever else we work with is their brand. So we're collaborating between brands. So yeah. I don't think it's funny for us to say collaborate.
No. Sorry, I got you off track. Yeah. So you're trying to make this a little bit more elegant. And someone we collabed with last week is doing the same thing. It's like, I think a lot of people look at porn stars, as you kind of hinted, dirty, strippers, dirty,
yeah.
And that's not everyone's opinion, but it's definitely out there. You hear it all the time. Oh, you're a stripper. Mm-hmm. And then you hear a stripper say, no, I'm a dancer.
Yeah, because
that's because they're trying to protect. Yeah, they're trying to protect themselves.
They're admitting to what they do, because there's a massive stigma and there's a massive opinion about what they do as a job. Just like when I started doing this, I would never say, oh, I run an OnlyFans business, or I work on social media, or I'm a content creator.
What about now? Do you love saying it?
No, I don't give a fuck.
Why?
Because it's our business, it's our brand.
And you're invested.
And I'm invested, and we've created a very successful business for ourselves. And we're proud of that. So why should we hide it?
Yep. Like, we're starting to get to the point where we're making more than, maybe not your family property development company yet, but we're on track.
Absolutely.
Or let's break it down. We're making more because it's
We're making more because it's consistent income.
But also it's first year.
You build a development that's maybe going to take you 2 years. You probably won't see that money for 2 years, whereas we're seeing the money every month.
Unless you're the builder and you can claim
fees and all that.
Building fee,
But it's consistent income, and you can grow it month to month.
Yep.
You can't do that with the development.
Well, it's not. I wouldn't call it consistent income, but you can consistently
depending on your effort
grow. It's not consistent in the matter of every month, like a paycheck, I'm getting $750 this week. No, but it's consistent that you consistently put in the effort. You're probably consistently going to get a really good outcome. Like anything in life, consistently train, consistently eat well, you're going to get a good result.
Equals result.
Fuck, there she is again. She's on today. You're on. You're zinging. Fuck. Electricity. I felt that. Zzz.
Oh, I thought you were going to grab my nipple.
Oh. Should give me ideas, should she? Anything else you want to talk about? We're about 45 minutes in, and I reckon...
I think we've covered most topics. But always, I think people are probably going to have a lot of questions. So if you do have any questions, don't be scared to ask us. If you don't want to put it on a public domain on YouTube or on a post on our Instagram, DM us. Mm-hmm. We will respond. And we will try to help you if we can.
Who's faster at responding?
Jeremy's way faster.
Way faster. I don't like shit to get on top of me. I just bang. So if you want to get a fast, even if it's a question for her, hit me up.
Or maybe just message me and then message him saying, I messaged Isabel, can you please
People
get it
do that
check?
And then she's on it straight away because I'll be like, Isabel.
Yeah. I know this will probably bring up a lot of questions because we did talk about a lot of things.
Hell yeah.
And if you are interested in our coaching course that we will be coming out with very shortly, send us a message.
We should start putting out expressions of interest anyway.
We will, absolutely. Yep. But if you want to get ahead of the queue, send us a message.
And so next podcast, I reckon relationship. Come on, man.
Well, we might put it like a voting thing on our Instagram story or something. Or maybe drop a comment below on a YouTube channel.
Yep. Okay.
Or on the Instagram page.
You'll keep an eye on all that.
Tell us what you want to see from us.
Okay. And then I reckon the following one, we've already got one planned. Yeah. I want to talk performance and training and recovery with a very good friend of mine who's coming up to stay from Melbourne. So I think...
But next week is still kind of up in the air between the two.
Sick.
So yeah, we'll get the feedback from you guys and we'll decide on that then.
Anything else you want to say?
No, I think that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching and listening. This concludes episode 2 of the Isabel and Jeremy show. If you haven't subscribed and haven't followed our Spotify channel, please do. Please give us a thumbs up and please turn notifications on so you don't miss an episode.
You do not want to miss an episode.
We will see you all next Friday. Until then, stay happy, stay healthy, and stay horny. Bye.
Peace.